the Unreal Epic Games launcher, and you're in the Unreal Engine, you can use File Open to open a project. So when we go to Open Project, the next thing it needs to know is where is such project. Now, you've already got, hopefully, something like My Starting Point or the Level Design version 1. It's going to be listed here. Something you may not have noticed before, and I'm going to put myself right over it, so directly below me here is the word Browse. For Wednesday's activity, I'd like you to click on the word Browse and then navigate to, and I'm signed on as a student, this would be an H drive or the activity that you're going to do on your third day with Unreal, once we've verified the installation and you're remoting in, and then we've gone through all of the introductory tour of the game engine, as well as built the level designer first start. We're actually going to open up a level built by Unreal for the purpose of having you spend an hour, called the Hour of Code. Their default instructions work a little bit differently, so I'm updating them now just to remind you that in the version that we're using here, that you will not need to install the game engine. You won't need to set up an ID. We're past that. And rather than use this process here, I'm going to have you actually, which would involve downloading content from the internet. We don't need everyone to wait for that. We're just going to do it a little bit differently. We're going to have you copy it onto your own drive. Now, as I minimize this, you'll see I've got the sample level open, and there's no harm in me just doing a play on this level just to kind of show you the starting point. And it's something that you're going to follow a structure to actually create and to look inside and experience. I think you'll enjoy it. I'm going to hit escape to get out of that. I'm a student now who's opened a project from the game programming drive. And if we're all doing that, we're all opening the same project, it could be problematic. We're better off if you make a copy. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to start with no projects open, right? You can close everything. So we'll do this. We're going to exit out of the game engine. I think this will work best. I'm going to use Explorer windows, and you'll be remoting in. I'm doing the same thing. I'm remoting from my desk to the student workstation. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab a project from the game programming drive, and we're going to put it on the student drive. So if one of the preferred methods I personally like is to open a second Explorer and put them side by side. Now, if you're on a Chromebook, you can hold down the Alt key and then use the bracket keys to put these side by side. That's fine. We're going to have one of them on the student drive, and we're going to go in that Unreal folder on the student drive, which was part of Monday's activities. We're going to use the other window, and we're going to look on the game programming drive. And we're going to look in a path, and I'll put this into our instructions, which is in a folder called Unreal. This one is in a subfolder called Hour of Code. And you can grab this folder right here called Unreal Engine Hour of Code and just make a copy of it into your own. Way to make this just a drag. There we go. Don't hold shift. That would be a do move. Just drag it over from the path here onto your own drive. So I'll copy these into the instructions. Some people like the videos. Some people prefer to read it and be able to copy. Double check the spelling on all this and actually make them actual links a little bit here. So that's going to be the first thing you've done. You'll do. Now, pardon me. Within our student drive here, with the Unreal Engine Hour of Code, if you have an association and it looks like the Unreal icon, you can just double click on it. So that would be ideal. You just double click on it and the file association works and it opens it up for you. I'll show you if that's not the case. You can hold down shift, do a right click, and you could actually say open with down here. When it brings up open with, I'm going to show you the path to the Unreal Game Engine to open it up. I've got a minute while that's opening anyway. All right, this is normal. In the right-hand side here, you'll see compiling shaders. It's also giving us a heads up that file names longer than 20 characters which they believe they did. Interesting. So we could always do a save as later. This compiling shaders is basically keeps the project small when you're passing it around and lets you get the details when you open it up and work in the editor. That's how it really amounts to for you. All right, as that's happening, I've got another window here which is doing the open with. I wanted to get back to that and show you what to do if it does not automatically associate. Hold down Shift, right click, say open with, and then it needs to know where your Unreal Engine is. If it doesn't see it here, then you'd want to actually click on More Apps, either find the Unreal Engine, or you would actually use the browse, look for another app on this PC. Probably good for you to be aware. This is stored, the program itself, the game engine's on your C drive. It's under Program Files, and these are 64-bit program files. So under Epic Games, there's going to be a couple of different scenarios. UE425, engine, and binaries. Win64. There we go. So I finally got down to where it shows UE4 editor. This is the program and the path that you'd want to get to when you open this file. That's the Unreal Game Engine. So if I clicked on Open here, it would do the same thing which I've already done, but I wanted to show you in case it's not automatically associating how to get to it. So that's method 2 for opening this project. The third method would be from within the project, is to do File Open. So I'm going to cancel on this. Get rid of my view of my own drive. This is your version now to work on. And just to show you that you could also do File Open Project. And then using a similar navigation with the Browse button over here, lower right hand corner, go into that same path. Make sure you're using the one on your drive. And you can actually highlight the name, even if it's not indicating with the icon that knows it's the Unreal Engine. You could then click on Open. So there's been, after you've done the copy, there's now 3 ways I've demonstrated on how to open the project. If I opened it again, it would probably give me the very same process we've watched unfold in the background. I don't see any value in reopening it. So I've got the project open, and this is basically what you're going to be using. That's the getting started. Now the part that you're going to be following along with is included in a PDF document that I've put on the Google assignment here. Here's a student guide. And this has also similarly been linked to the assignment. The focus of this, as you can read, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. The student guide will walk you through the process. You can read this at your own pace. I'm not going to read it to you. I'm not going to do the whole activity for you. The Getting Started guide I have modified so that it works for you, because the standard version is going to be different. Please don't do that, because it's going to cause some confusion. You don't need to install an engine or go through that setup. It's been done. Here we go. I'm just going to kind of leave you off right here. Follow these steps. And these steps will walk you through a process where you're going to explore, in an hour of code format, an exposure to using the Unreal Engine. Excited about this opportunity. I hope you enjoy it. It is an asynchronous activity, so when you're done, make sure you've saved your work and give me a private comment on what you got done for the day using Mark as Done in Google Classroom. This is admittedly the first time I'm rolling this out for students. It's fresh. It came out in December. Some of this you're going to go, know that, got it. Some of it you might not know. And so in your summary, in your private comment before you use Mark as Done, let me know what you think. Thanks for your attention. We'll catch up with you back in class.